Perfect. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sol. Welcome to the trading room. Just before we get started, please change your settings on your chat so everyone can see what you type, both all panelists and all attendees. That way, everyone see what you type and not only me. That makes everything more interesting for everyone. We have a large and nice group here, so it's very interesting for everyone, your questions. And second, quick disclaimer, remember, we're going to be trading live market conditions. The way I see the markets is not the only way to trade or analyze or whatever. So just make sure you take responsibility for your own situation and your own trades. I would like to show you some trade management techniques and things that you can apply on your own situations. And I like to go sometimes to lower time frames, but this is just to give you an example of complete setups from the beginning, from the entry of the trade to the end of it. But the same things we see on lower time frames, we can apply to larger time frames. So just take the principles and the concepts. With that being said, as usual on Mondays, I will start giving a quick review on the larger time frames through the major pairs, so everyone, so we can have an idea what are the key levels for the week and what's behind the scenes on the markets and what we can expect for this coming week. So let's start with that. One quick thing, I'm working on a one-screen computer, so I will come to the chat to see your questions and comments, but I don't have it in front of me all the time, so I'll come back. And I'm very excited. I'm broadcasting now from Mexico, and it's just amazing. The quick thought how you can be everywhere in the world and keep trading, and this is beautiful about our profession, that you can all you need is a computer and internet connection, and we can all have the beauty of trading. So okay, so let's start now. I'll start giving you a quick a review on the major pairs, and I will show you a trade I'm in already, and I'll tell you why. So let's start with the Euro USD on the daily. 2 weeks ago, we had this big sell-off. Okay, Powell speech, you might remember, saying we will increase interest rates, and this caused this big movement down. And afterwards, some hesitation. So yeah, it will take our time. It won't be that aggressively. So some doubt on his own world. So we had this pullback. Okay, and now the markets, they need to decide whether they will continue lower or they will do a full retracement. Okay, those are our possible scenarios, of course. Besides the fundamentals, okay, if there was no fundamental behind it, only technically and structurally, after this big sell-off, we should be some continuation. So we had this pullback to this rectangle I had already drawn, which I believe it's a supply on the, you can see this supply on the hourly charts. So that's calling now the reaction to that supply, and we might see a continuation lower, maybe to these lows there, or probably even further to the old lows right there. But I think we need more information and some continuation on fundamentals and news analysis to see if we will see a full retracement or a continuation. My bias, however, is short, as long as we keep below the supply area. As long as we keep below that line, I will be looking for selling opportunities. And you can see already on the daily charts, you can see already the tail activity on the top part, showing some rejection to that supply area. So I'm more biased to the downside, but I need to be ready for all scenarios. If we go to lower time frames, if we go to the hourly, we don't see any supply all the way to that area. So if we fail to hold on that supply, we might see prices going all the way to that supply, and that's another good sell opportunity. Okay, so if you're not already short and price breaks higher, this is a classic supply. Okay, so this would be also a good selling opportunity. And this same pattern and structure we will see almost in every major pair. So let me go to the pound. So pound, same. We spoke about 2 weeks ago. We spoke about this consolidation, this range, and the fact that this will eventually end up breaking hard, either to the downside or to the upside. It did to the downside. So I do expect some continuation to the downside. Let me erase that. And we see already the market trying to turn, okay, and continue lower. Let's see if that happens. I haven't checked the economic calendar to see what key events we have on during these weeks, but those fundamentals are the ones that will decide if the market continues lower or make a full retracement. So we can see already here the attempt to continue lower. Let's see on the hourly if we have some key levels. So same as on the euro, you can see the supply. That was the speech, Powell's speech day, okay, the break lower. And you can see there's not such a demand down here. Okay, you can see, of course, there's some support, but you can see there the rally up wasn't that aggressively as this break lower. Okay, so again, my bias is to the short side. Also on this pair. And let's move on. Okay, USD CAD, and this is the trade I'm in right now. So we had this bottoming pattern, and we had the break, and this is a good reversal pattern. We have been on the bearish side of this pair for, I believe, more than a year now. And right now we see some signs of a trend reversal. We're still early. Let me clean charts a little bit. So we had the break caused by the speech. This supply didn't hold. There wasn't any reaction or important reaction. It held, and now that supply becomes that swap area. So now this supply becomes a demand area. Prices stopped at that supply right there. It's now pulling back, stopped at the old supply, now demand, and it's deciding with whether it's going higher or, again, full retracement to the low side. So if we try to analyze a trend and what causes, or what's the definition of a trend, a classic one is higher highs or higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows. So right now we have this is a low, this is a new high, and now this is a potentially higher low than this one. Now, for this to become and complete a reversal pattern, a trend reversal pattern, needs to really go up and create a new higher high than previous one. Okay, so that would confirm the reversal pattern. So I got in. Let me show you. Let me clean this. So I got in with a market order after this day. Let me go. After the closing of this day right here, the reaction to the demand area, I got in. We have been moving sideways. I'm actually a little bit up, like I believe 20 pips or something like that, or 15 pips. But I really need to wait because this is a setup on the daily chart. So I need to manage this trade on a daily basis. I don't need to intraday manage this. It's a long-term trade. My first target would be the previous high. That would be the scalp target. Okay, the easy money. Let's call it like that. Because I don't know if market will be able to break that high. Eventually, especially now that we're starting the summer months, there's less volatility and less volume. So I'm not sure if in the coming weeks or months we will be able to break this high right here. But in case I do see increasing momentum to the upside, I might just take profit higher, because this might be only the beginning of a trend reversal on the big picture. Okay, so I might be on a very good position. Any case, this is I'm risking 68 pips, and my first target would be 150. So it's more than 2-to-1 risk reward. That's a great setup. Okay, right there, which is essentially it's the same setup as going short on the euro or the pound. It's the same setup. Okay, we had the break, pullback, and I'm waiting for the continuation higher. So that's the trade I'm in right now. Let me just show it to you. Okay, so right now it's 20 pips up. I need to let it run. Okay, either to the downside, and if it breaks lower, let me show you on the hourly chart. That's another buying opportunity. Look at that demand. That's the breaking day. So if it breaks lower, I might take the loss and I might go long again based on this demand right here. So I'm feeling good about this trade. Dollar franc, we had this compression channel. You can see the way this retracement was forming kind of started to turn around, eventually broke higher, pulling back, and it should continue. Structurally, it should continue higher. If we go to lower time frames, I'm pretty sure this will be a new demand. Okay, you can see the fresh demand right there. You also have a mid-range demand right there. So all those areas are buying opportunities. So my bias to this pair right now is to the upside. Dollar yen, let me just clean a little bit. Dollar yen has been just following this channel, okay, and it's now at the very, very top. There's a lot of pressure to the upside. So if we analyze the yen, okay, look at the dollar yen, we have the euro yen and pound yen. So the yen has been weak against all pairs, and the dollar has been strengthening since Powell's speech. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do break up to the upside. Now, this is also a good short opportunity, because you can have very limited risk. You can place your stops, just above those highs, and you can short, waiting for a pullback or a movement lower. But if you see the structure of this market, we have been just forming higher lows right here. So let's see, where would that end? Okay, we might see a test of all those highs. Myself, personally, I'm not a huge fan of trading the breakout itself, because the breakout tends to be you're very you can get a lot of false breakouts and whipsaws, so you can get stuck into false breakouts. But if I do see a strong breakout to the high side, I might wait for a pullback and a test of the breaking area, and then I can continuation higher. So if we allow ourselves to the dollar strength, we want to buy this market, although we are at the very, very top. But you can see how after an attempt of reversing that and going short, the dollar has held and it's just testing and pushing the top side here. So eventually selling orders will give up and we might see the break. Okay, but right now I'm on the sidelines on this market. Let me see if on the hourly we see some demand. Yeah, I don't see any key levels, so I will stay on the sidelines on this one. Okay, New Zealand, we also spoke about a few weeks ago. This nice range, eventually break lower, dollar strength, pulling back, almost tested. Let's see how that formed. Almost tested the supply area, and it's now reacting. That's a classic pattern. You can see the tail, and now let's see if we can form the continuation lower all the way to this support. Let me see if there's more demand, more supply up there. So we haven't tested this supply. So if we continue higher, I would give it a chance and short the market again. Let me see, what else do we have? Yeah, that's the only one I see. This could be, I would have to go to lower timeframes. That could be another supply, but I would like to go to lower timeframes to see how that formed before just selling that. But this one right here, I will go short blindly. And so my bias here is to the short side. Aussie, I guess similar pattern. Break, pullback. Now trying to decide if we go short or we go up. This is a great sell place because you can set your risk at the top of that candle, and your potential profit. The first one is right there. So let's see if that's a good short right now. So that's 50-ish pips risk, and almost 100. So it's kind of 2 to 1. So this is a good short scenario. And now euro yen and pound yen, these have no dollar on them, so we have different price action. We had this push lower, but here we're trying to go. Let me clean this. We have formed already kind of a full retracement. We're right now reacting to that demand, to that supply, I'm sorry. Okay, you can see how it touched it, and it's now compressing lower. But if that fails, I don't see any other supply here. So this is not as a clear pattern as the ones with the dollar one. This could go either direction, either to the downside or full retracement to the tops. I'm on the sidelines on this one. The big trend, the big picture is still up, but this might also be a trend reversal pattern. Okay, the push, we're now testing supply there and also trend resistance, and we might continue lower. I don't know, it's just too early to say. So I'm on the sidelines. And pound yen, here we did create, we did have the full retracement. So most times when you have full retracement, 100% retracements like this, we tend to see a continuation, in this case, to the upside. So let me see how that formed on the hourly. Okay, so you can see this nice V shape. And we have some demand right there, and probably that's a supply. Of these high demand areas. Of the yen, and so I would like to buy this pair. So I would look for maybe a deeper pullback towards this demand here in order to buy. Okay, my bias here is to the downside, to the upside. And now, guys, let me go to the chat. I see a lot of messages coming in here. Let me go back. And if I miss one of those, just throw it again. So, Lucian, you're already short in Euro USD. Nice. I would also be looking to short. If I go to now lower timeframes, I'll try to align myself to the big picture. So I'll look to short the Euro USD. So Louis, your Aussie dollar 1 hour long bias. If you go to hourly charts, of course you can intraday trade both sides. Just make sure you align yourself with the big movements. But I always tell you, if you have a signal and your strategy provides you a signal to go long or short, you have to go with your strategy. My analysis is the one that works for me, and I try to identify long-term key levels, but that doesn't mean intraday trading and other strategies and other ways we can make a lot of also good trades, both directions. Dollar can Edward cup and handle. Yeah, that's kind of cup and handle. It's same pattern we're speaking about. Flavio, first time here from Brazil. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Just Flavio, please change your settings on your chat so everyone can see what you type, because your hello from Brazil, only I saw it. So if you change to all attendees, everyone will see what you type here. Lucian, dollar yen, yeah, that's what I spoke about. We kind of reacted to the supply, but it failed to continue lower. So, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a continuation higher on the dollar yen. Ade, we have mentoring or trading programs. Not at the moment, but it's something we're considering to implement. Patricia, euro yen, euro pound. Let's go look at that one. I'll go now. Just Patricia, please change your settings so everyone can see what you type. All attendees as well, and I'll go check the euro pound right now. Steve, New Zealand dollar long-term short and pound yen, pound dollar as well, long-term short. Just structurally, that might fail. We spoke about it, but I would like to. I'm more inclined to the short side on both. Raj, welcome from India. Warren from Wyoming, welcome. Just guys, again, change your so everyone can see what you type. All attendees as well. If you type to all panelists, only I see what you type. So change that to all attendees as well. Osiomoji are the only person you look at. Yeah, I try to stay focused on these pairs. I don't go to the 20 something pairs out there, and I really get familiar to them. So yeah, I try to stay focused on those ones. Great. So Eurocad, we have a request here, and Euro Pound. Let's look at those. Let me open those. Euro Pound. Okay, let me tell you what I see on the Euro Pound. This is a very nice setup that is starting to align. This channel, this kind of formation is called a compression, where you don't see any clear pullback or movement, neither to the upside nor to the downside. So you can see a lot of weeks both on the top side and downside. You see a lot of bearish days and bullish days. So you have up and down movements, and that consumes all demand and all supply. Now that is approaching a very clear demand area right here. So most of the times, and I would say this is a very precise pattern, I would say more than 70% accuracy on this one. Once these channels break, they tend to break to the opposite side and very strong, okay? So if this is going down, once it meets this demand right here, this will tend to break very strong, in this case, to the upside. And they tend to do that because there's no supply back here on all this channel to stop that break higher, because all supply has been consumed already. So if there was a supplier back here, it has already been checked. And if there was a supply back here, it was already tested once here. Okay, so all supply has been consumed. And once this goes down and tests this demand here and reacts to that, tends to break very strong, in this case, to the upside, with no supply to stop that break higher. And we can see that on the dollar CAD and the, I think it was the dollar franc. Okay, we saw that example here on the franc. So we see this compressionary channel, how it broke hard to the upside. And dollar CAD, we also compressed. Okay, and you can see how the break higher. I'm missing one example. I can't recall it right now. But if I was trading this, I would wait for price to come here to this demand, and I would buy. With my stops just below. And it's, sometimes you can see this and you can argue this is a downtrend, which is kind of, it is, momentum is to the downside, but the late formation, this kind of formation, it's a weak formation to the downside. So if demand creates once again here, it will cause an important break higher. So I want to just, what? Let me set that up. Let me see. I want to make sure that's a demand. So I go to lower time frames. And you can see it. You can see it here. You can see how aggressive was that break higher. So that confirms that's a demand. So now I can go to the dailies. And if I place a buy limit order, I can place it here. I'm more inclined to enter these ones with confirmation, but you can as well take limit orders. My stops somewhere there, that would be 50 pips of risk. That would be my setup. So that's a way to enter it, or to wait for the market to get there, and just after seeing a reaction, then to enter, okay, with more confirmation. This is kind of a riskier way to enter, just with buy limit orders. But if it works out, I will have a better entry point. So I like this setup, actually. I'll leave it there. And I think there was a request for Eurocad. Let's look at that. Okay, so Eurocad clearly on a range, a sideways market. My guess is this will continue until we see a fundamental. A news announcement will cause a break of that one. I did see, however, I believe it was a demand here. I would have to check that one because I'm not sure that's a demand. So if you have a ranging strategy, probably I would look to sell the tops and buy the bottoms, but very, very aware of fundamentals, because any news announcement either on the euro or the CAD will eventually cause the break to the upside or to the downside. And the bias here is very neutral. We had this push lower, so that might continue lower, but who knows? This might be also the stop of that bearish movement and just the start of a new up movement. So I don't have a clear setup on this one. You can also, if you like breaking trading the breakout itself, you can place buy stops above and sell stops below and trying to catch the breakout. But I'm not a huge fan of those ones. So that's my view on the Eurocad. Very, very neutral. Edward, during currency biases, you mentioned euro pound should break to the upside. Euro is presently quite weak. Yeah, both euro and pound. We can go to to indicators and strength indicators or something to see the strength or weakness of the individual currencies. I agree. Euro is weak, but if you compare the pound to the dollar, it's kind of also getting weaker. So that's why there's a lot to put into a certain analysis. I'm just analyzing this, and the fact that both are weak is what causes this kind of movement, because there's a balance between buyers and sellers, and both being weak is what causes this very slow movement in this case, to the downside. But in terms of supply and demand, this is a clear demand that should cause a movement to the upside after a retracement like that one. It's just my view. Of course, this might fail and just continue lower and break all that demand, and who knows, correct? But right now, it's just what I see. So I try to trade what I see. How much percent do you generate per month? So it's a tricky question, because I don't see my returns on a monthly basis, because I have very good months and I have average months. And it also depends on the year. So I had years with 5% per month. I have years with 1% per month. So it's, I don't know, it's a, there's months with a lot of opportunities, trading opportunities, and months with very few trading opportunities. I have had 20% return months, but that doesn't happen on a consistent basis, I guess. Okay, so the market provides you opportunities regardless the time or the month or the calendar, our calendar. So I just take the signals I have. Okay, let's see if we have something lined up on lower time frames. Raj, do I trade daily time frame mostly? No, I trade. I do like the daily time frame, and that's my, I guess, my anchor for everything. So I try to look at the daily time frame and then align my intraday trading to those to what's happening behind the scenes on the daily time frame. So if I go to the euro, for example, and I want to trade the short, the lower time frames, I would try to go short on the euro, just because my analysis on the daily is to the downside. So I would like to go to lower time frames and then look for selling opportunities, okay, to align myself to the big movement, or to the big money. But I would trade everything. It's just a matter of time availability. Trading on the lower time frames requires more screen time, so I have to be there and managing the trades. And if I go to the daily chart or to the weekly chart, so I don't have to be there in front of the screens all the time. Lucian, if I have a trade on the hourly, for example, I'm going to hold it for days or looking to scalp, take profit. I believe I have tried to. I don't believe in the market as days or hours or minutes. The market is just there all the time. Okay, the market is the market is there. Okay, the market is just moving all the time. It's trades and ticks happening, creating the time frames. Okay, the candlestick you see, but the candlesticks are just time representations of the ticks coming into the market. So I don't believe of holding trades a certain period of time, because that certain period of time, the market will move from key levels to key levels, and that movement might happen in just minutes or hours or days sometimes. So I will have to just wait that time in order for the market to go to that point or to that key level. So to give you an example, if I go to the hourly or whatever time frame and I go short right now on the euro, and my take profit is there because that's the next key level available, the market to go there, it might get there today or it might get there in 2 weeks. Okay, for me it doesn't matter. I just need to allow the market to go there, regardless the time that it takes the market to get there. So I guess we could be trading this not using a candlestick but lines, and now you don't have the time representation, correct? You just have the key levels in front of you. So you need to be aware and of that I don't define my trading if I'm scalping or swinging or something based off time, but based on price. Okay, that's my point. Do I close and open trades before a major news to happen? Never. Because on the news release, you never know what direction the market will spike. And on live accounts, you will have slippage there that will just cause you a lot of damage. But maybe after the news release, and if I see there's some momentum, some direction creating, I might try to go with the direction, but not at the news release. Yeah, thank you, Lucian. Okay, let me see if we have something lining up. If not, we'll just wrap it up. Okay, this is a great example. Okay, so if I go to the daily on the dollar CAD, this is the trade I'm already in. Correct. My bias on this pair is to the long side. So I already have a trade based off the daily chart. Correct. But then if I go to the lower time frames, let's just take the 5-minute chart, I do see a pattern that could provide me with a new entry signal, because we just had this range, and we're now breaking. If I see some continuation higher, I will define this as a new support, or kind of not a very clear demand, but a support. So now I can wait for this. I do need for this to continue higher a little bit, and then to wait for a pullback to this area, and then I'll try to buy. Okay, and that would be an example of how I align my intraday trading to the long-term trading. Okay, I'm long both on my 5-minute chart and my daily chart. Okay, that would be a good example. But I need to wait. I'm early now. I need this to continue higher, create a proper key level here, and then wait for a retracement to go long on this one. Okay, Steve, okay, let's review the New Zealand CAD and then we'll wrap up, okay? New Zealand CAD. What do you see, Steve? Are you short or long, or what you looking to do? Yeah, to buy the pair. I guess I would do the same. Looks similar to the Eurocad, just kind of compressing right here. The thing is, I don't see a demand to react to. So right now we're on these levels, already reacting to those, and I don't see any other key demand. Maybe this one. So I guess yeah, would make more sense to go long and just having, waiting for this to go here to this point right here, and then to buy, and then placing your stops below. Because selling now just wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. So I guess I'm with you. I would like to buy, but this is not a super clear pattern for me. It's not my favorite. But let me know how that goes. Okay, guys, I think we'll wrap up here. We didn't have much time for intraday trading, but we'll have that next week. So thanks for coming, guys, and always fun to trade with you. And have a nice week, a nice day, and see you next week. Thank you. Bye, guys.